Joy Houston from The Delicious Revolution, and today we are going to make a drink that I call the Maca Faca. Now, the purpose of this drink is to wean you off of coffee. Now, I've been off of it for a while, and when I have coffee, which I do, I'm certainly no dietary saint, you all know that by now, but when I do have it, it's something that I have it because I enjoy it. It's a coffee date with friends or a special brunch with family or something. I have it because I enjoy it. I don't wake up in the morning and have to have it in order to feel like all is right in the world. So if you're interested in getting off the bean as a habit instead of enjoying it as a special treat or a nice beverage, then the Maca Faca might just be the drink that helps you do that, and I'll tell you why. This drink does have caffeine in it. As a matter of fact, when you start off making it, you start with a dough matcha, which is a green tea powder. Now, it's not been reduced down and boiled out. It's actually a fine powder of the leaves, and it's organic, free trade. It's a great product. There's links to it on the deliciousrevolution.com site, actually for all of these, so you don't feel like you have to write these down. So there is caffeine in this drink. We're also using raw cacao, which has more antioxidants in it than green tea. So very, very good for the body. It also has, flavonoids, and it even has 8%, I believe, of the iron that you need in a day in a single serving. So there are some positive nutritional facts when you consume raw cacao as opposed to highly processed chocolate. So between the green tea and the chocolate, we're giving the body some caffeine. So that should help you to not have to go through terrible headaches or dragging mornings when you're deciding to get off the bean. The other thing that we add in here is some maca powder, which has long been believed to help focus and clarity and mental stimulation. Some people even say it adds to your sexual prowess, which is a nice little bonus, although I can't speak for the truth of that for myself. Anyways, it's also an adaptogen, which will help the body in the transition from coffee to an alternative beverage. We're also going to use just a dash of cayenne. If you do not like cayenne and spice is not your thing, then you could leave it out. But I find it does two things. One, it makes the drink very satisfying, and it slows down your consumption so you don't just gulp it down, but you actually do sip it and enjoy it much like a coffee. And also, cayenne's just great in the body. Shakes things up, move toxins along. I like having that in my diet every day, and it certainly doesn't have any downside. It's not like actual coffee, which does have so many downsides, especially if you're not drinking an organic free trade brand of coffee, because you're dealing with one of the most pesticide rich crops in the world, and unless you're buying a fair trade, the way that it is grown is not sustainable, and its impact on the local communities is not necessarily positive. So if you are going to stay with the bean, organic free trade coffee is definitely the way to go. So let's go ahead and whip up a batch of Maca Faca. Now, I love the Vitamix, and if you're going to make a whole batch of this, by all means, throw a larger quantity into the Vitamix and whip it all up. But for me, I like this, which is the Magic Bullet. Works great for a small job like this, and I can even just take this with me on the go and drink it on my way somewhere. So anyways, let's go ahead and start. I like a really creamy coffee. You could, if you don't like a creamy coffee, you could use just hot water instead. But I like my coffee nice and creamy, so I've got some homemade almond milk here. And like I said, most people probably would want a cup, but I'm going to do like 1.25 cups here. Actually, I'm going to do a double batch so I can pour you 2. So there's about 2 cups of almond milk, homemade, and there's a recipe on thedeliciousrevolution.com if you'd like to know how to make your own almond milk. And we're going to put a dash of cayenne, just a dash, there we go. And we're going to put a teaspoon of maca powder. Now, I actually have been off the bean for quite a while, so I'm going to put just 1 teaspoon for my double batch, because I only use a 1/2 teaspoon in here, which is great because this stuff is a little bit pricey. I mean, when you consider the cost of going out for coffee every day, it's cheap. It's definitely cheap. But it is a little bit pricey when you first go to buy some of it online. So once you don't need that stimulant anymore, you might as well not use it. And then I use a tablespoon of chocolate. I actually like a little extra raw cacao in mine. It has such great health benefits as well that I have no problem adding a little bit extra. Now, the other thing we're going to use is raw honey. This is another superfood. It's just awesome for you. This is a great brand you can get online. Now you want about a teaspoon of that in there. If you don't like it sweet, again, you could leave it out, but honey's a superfood. So I like to get that in my diet, and knowing that I've started my day with this yummy beverage and having the honey as a superfood in there, I feel good about that. So I go ahead and sweeten mine. Plus I like my beverages sweeter. We're gonna screw the lid on here real good. All this machine does, it's really simple. It has little tabs on the side. Once you push it in and turn it on, it's gonna make a bunch of noise. You won't be able to hear me. That's all it takes. You whip it up. Now you'll notice I didn't put the scoop of green tea in mine, and as I said, I have been off the bean for quite some time, and I'm a little bit sensitive to adding that much caffeine, so I don't need it. But if you're coming off coffee, especially if you have a strong coffee habit, several cups a day, go for it. Put that green tea in there. It's got great antioxidants. It helps rid your body of free radicals. It's awesome for you anyway, so go ahead and put it in. Do not suffer through coming off the bean, please. There is no need. There's just no need. So throw the extra green tea in there. For me, like I said, I'm sensitive to it, and I've been off it for a while, so I just don't need it. If I want green tea, I just enjoy the flavor of that on its own. So that's it. You're just gonna put a 1/4 teaspoon of the green tea if you need the caffeine. You're gonna put 1 teaspoon of the maca, a tablespoon of the raw cacao, a cup of fresh almond milk, or if you don't like almond milk, you could use soy or an alternative nut milk. You could even use regular milk if you're still on dairy, but I think it's much more fun to make your own almond milk at home, and you're left with an almond pulp that is great for making different raw treats. You can find recipes for those at thedeliciousrevolution.com. You can use a sweetener. I like to use raw honey because it's a superfood, and you can use that to your liking, half teaspoon, teaspoon, whatever you like. A dash of cayenne, keep things moving along in the body, and whip it all up. Now, if I was in a rush to go somewhere, this little bugger makes it so convenient for you to just take it on the go, but it's also pretty easy to pour into a cute little cup here. And I'm sure I can get someone, maybe that really haughty cameraman of ours, to join me for a cup of maca faca and say goodbye to the bean. This is Joy Houston of The Delicious Revolution. I hope you'll take some time to check us out online. Here's to your good health.